All right.
All right, man. And we're rolling.
This is it, dude.
Welcome to the cast. Number one.
The first cast.
One and only. Cheers.
Cheers. What are you drinking?
Apple juice.
Haha. Me too. Lemonade
Oh, nice, man.
for the kiddos.
So, can I first just say, what the hell is going on this week? You got
This week?
Well, every week recently, but with these hornets that randomly showed up out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, hey, let's just hop on over to the North America. That seems pretty sweet.
Dude, those things are gnarly.
Did you see the videos of them?
Yeah, they're like eating stuff.
Dude, they come inside the beehive and they grab the bee's head, chop it right off.
Dude, don't the bees just like gang him up on him and like murder him?
Dude, they have no chance.
They have no chance. He eats them all?
No, man. It comes in there. They're so aggressive. They come up in the hive and they chop everybody's head off. Can you imagine? Can you imagine you're a bee out there and you're out there collecting the pollen, you're making the honey, you're dutifully working.
Dutifully working.
And then some guy that kind of looks like you, but he's also 10 times your size, comes in, starts chopping off your head and then your whole family, and then you're all dead. So
They, apparently they're like pretty painful sting too.
yeah, you don't want to get stung by them. They're bad news.
You seen that Coyote Peterson guy?
No, who's that?
He's like this dude.
Oh, he's the sting guy.
the sting guy, yeah, on
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah.
He's like,
Did he get stung by one?
the pain index? Yeah, that was like one of his first ones. Was the whatever that wasp is, and it was like it's like level 5 or something like that. But apparently, like they just
Wait,
keep
whose
stinging
scale
you.
is this?
This is like his own. It's apparently like some scientific made up scale.
How
or
can you?
something like that.
I don't. It seems so subjective. I don't know how you could make up your own scale for.
Well, I guess it's like
Painful stings.
more painful than the last sting. He had like 50 stingers. That's a lot of stingers.
What? Dude, he must be getting a lot of money to purposely subject himself to that many painful stings.
I mean, he gets like 1 million views.
Oh, god dang.
Yeah, like
Yeah. He's collecting
easy.
the cash on
Easy.
that.
He's just raking it in from these stingers.
So what was the most painful sting then?
My little brother and I were talking about this today. Yeah, we were trying to figure out which one he did. I thought it was the bullet ant. I think
Did
it's
he
like
get a
some-
10?
Yeah, I don't
Did
know.
he top out his own scale?
Yeah, he was like he freaks out on a lot of them. He's
oh,
like,
God.
and he like slams on the ground and does all this crazy
Jeez.
stuff. Yeah, he's gnarly. He's like kind of like Steve Irwin.
Is
but
that for
not as
show, or is he
good.
actually just dying in pain?
I think he's in pain. It looks pretty genuine. Like his like veins, he's started like sweating and stuff.
Oh,
and
God.
yeah.
So wait, how does he choose stuff that's only painful and not like poisonous or venomous?
Well, they all are venomous. So they all have like some kind of venom in there, but a lot of them are just painful. They're not like
So it's like enough to kill their little bug prey, but not enough to
it's not
damage
enough
a
to
person.
kill. I guess if you had like a bunch of them, it could kill a person. But it's mostly like I think it's just like super painful for us.
It seems like that could go wrong pretty easily.
He usually has like a medic and stuff.
Oh my God.
You know, take away the magic.
So what did you remember the most painful one?
No, I think it's like some wasp, some weird like killer wasp.
Okay, so the other question is, does he go out there and he's just walking around nature where he thinks they live, and he's like, well, hopefully I find one and then I'll just mess with their hive and hopefully they sting me and we go from there.
It's kind of like no. So he does it very like animal show kind of way. Like he'll come in. He has like his special forceps. They have like these like little like tools that like grab bugs like safely or whatever. Mm-hmm. So he like has those and
Does
like
he need
a
like
little,
a bee
bucket.
suit?
No bee suit. He's out there and like.
Well,
you
I
know,
guess if he's trying to get stung anyways, doesn't really matter.
yeah, he's got his khakis on. He's ready for the adventure.
Oh my God.
But like he catches all kind of crazy animals. But
Jesus, man. So on that note, whales.
what an intro! What a great intro to start. Whales.
Dude, so for everything that I looked up, it's like you could go this way or you could choose one thing, but then like each one of those branches like split off into like 5 more, and it's just like an infinite. Like you could easily spend many lifetimes just studying whales.
And
probably not even
like scratch the surface.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
insane. I felt that too. Just like researching it, looking around. There's like, I just try to do the best to generalize it.
I had to just narrow it down and get specific in a few areas because I knew I couldn't like generalize enough of it.
Yeah.
I'd just be speaking so broadly.
I mean, like, if there is more info out there, people can always go and research more.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of good sources out there.
Let me ask you this right off the top. Do you have a favorite?
Whale?
Yeah.
Yes, but
Okay.
with some caveats we'll talk about later. Yes,
Okay.
I do.
All right.
Do you?
All right. I think so. Yeah.
I think I knew your favorite whale coming into this.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a blue whale, man.
Pretty glorious animal.
Dude, it just wins at everything.
They're huge.
When I was looking it up, I saw this picture of one of them lined up to like a diagram of the U.S. Space shuttle. Dude, the whale's bigger.
Then the space shuttle? By how much?
Like, not a lot, but the space shuttle
Still.
is pretty freaking big.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to go to outer space. Yeah, okay. So for me, the blue whale is like it's about the number game. I mean, this thing.
Oh, definitely.
Dude, it can eat 8,000 pounds of krill in a day. Saying that, and that is like more than 1.5 million calories. Dude, can you imagine? I'm out here trying to gain a little bit on 3,000 calories. And the blue whale's like, nah, man, that's chump change. I'm
Dude.
going for the 1.5 mil.
So wait. And they're eating like the tiniest things in the ocean,
Yeah.
doing that too.
Yeah, well, that's the only way. Like, as far as biomass, like, there's just nothing else that they could do to produce that much mass.
Like just like caloric intake too.
Yeah.
There's like nothing more dense than that they could eat.
Well, I mean, like, for the amount of energy it takes to collect their food, like, there's nothing else that would be that energy dense. Like, if they try to go after fish, like, they'd have to exert so much more energy because they're faster. Whereas
True.
the krill and plankton, like, they're not really running away. Like,
No.
you watch the videos, they're basically
they're-
just in these, like, massive swarms, and, dude, they just come out of there and eat them all up. It's absolutely insane.
Oh.
So wait, that's mine. The blue whale.
True. My favorite is, I think, the killer whale, which we'll talk about later. It's not technically a whale.
Is that maybe not a true whale?
Not a true whale. Well, we'll get into it later.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
I mean, they're just the way they are is insane. They're basically like wolves in the ocean.
Dude, they're the wolves of the sea.
They're insane.
100%. Dude, they're way smarter than everything else. You know what's the most insane thing about those? Dude, they hunt great whites. Dude,
What?
Think about the baddest creature in the sea. Think great whites. Think again.
No killer whale. Or I guess orcas, they like to call them, right?
Dude, how badass do you have to be to hunt great white sharks? Like, those things look terrifying in the water.
They're huge.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they shared the same water.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I thought they usually stayed like more Arctic.
Well, no, they travel further south. I think. So the weird thing about orcas is, like, I was reading that recently in the past couple of years, like, everybody knows them as just like orcas, the one species, but it's actually likely that there's a couple different species.
I
Yeah.
think I saw that. Yeah.
Okay, so you have these inland groups which are primarily eating. They're eating like marine mammals. So they're eating like seals and sea lions and like big blubbery mammals. And then you have a completely different group that's further out to sea, and they pretty much only eat fish. Yeah, so,
I did see that. Yeah, and they can tell they're kind of like actually different sizes and a little bit different.
Yeah,
like,
and they have their
makeup-wise.
own language.
Oh,
Yeah, they literally
yes.
they make different sounds, and I was reading that like some of them have their own names.
Like
and,
they have their own little like a squeak or
like
something
they
for
have
this
their like
one.
sequence of like clicks and squeaks, and that's like they can call to each other and they know each other's names. So you have these different groups, and then they basically don't even intermingle. So which is like another characteristics of like a species that's dividing. They're not like reproducing anymore.
Yeah, they don't cross.
And I've heard of, so some of them that have been caught and have gone to like different parks, I've heard that like if they'll catch one of these ones that's like the marine mammal eating group, that they'll try and feed them fish, and they're just like, no man, I'm not gonna eat that. Like, what are you doing? That's not my food.
What do? They have to
They
like
starve.
That's it? They don't
Yeah.
try to give them like seal meat? somehow?
I just heard an antidote about it, so I'm not sure.
Oh.
I also don't know if they would even. I don't know if they would eat dead meat like that.
Yeah, they might be like only used to hunting or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because in nature, like, it might start to rot and then.
Yeah, they don't want to eat rotten stuff. That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's very possible that there's more than one species of orca, which is pretty insane.
Which is, I mean, that just kind of goes along with just how smart they are too. Like the fact that they can have different like dialects of a same, or like different kind of like languages within.
Yeah.
Well, I guess one, maybe two technically species. That's insane.
Dude, the other wild thing about them too is like, you have to watch videos of these because they're just like, to like fully appreciate their like ability to work together and to like plan these attacks. It's so wild to watch.
It's
Like, did you see the one where they're out there catching these? So it was that group that's the mammal eating. So they see it. I don't know how they see it. It's above the water, but they can see it. It's sitting on this little piece of ice. So it's just one dude sitting out there.
yeah.
And then you see all these freaking fins rolling in and the little splashes of them breathing. Can you imagine the terror
of that little seal.
Dude, you're just out there napping on this piece of ice. You're like,
Nice.
damn,
That's
I
hot.
just got all stocked up on this fish.
It's like,
Feeling good. And all of a sudden you hear, dude. So they come up. And the weird thing is, like, there's videos, I don't know how they got this footage, but there's videos of them underwater. That in itself would be pretty terrifying. But it seems like
being in a wetsuit just out there.
yeah, and
No.
you're just watching them hunt, and somehow it seems like they're ambivalent towards whoever was filming.
I feel like they gotta try to go after him sometimes.
So I've heard there's been a few different deaths in parks.
Definitely, yeah, I've definitely heard that.
Yeah, like I can't remember where it was, but there was this one guy that broke into a park. I don't think it was SeaWorld.
No, it might have been SeaWorld Orlando.
But
Hold on, you want to pause?
what?
Okay, we're back. Technical mishap, but we're talking about orcas, right? And how they're hunting this one seal,
Okay, yeah.
this lone seal.
So you see them rolling in, like 5 of them all right next to each other. And they come right up to it, and then right before they run into the iceberg, they all make a deep dive, and it makes the whole iceberg like roll back and forth. And
Oh, they
then-
like make a wave
and
somehow?
then, yeah, and the wave comes behind it, and it starts like pushing him. He's like, "Oh shit, it's about to get messy."
Dude, I've seen that. They are. It's not for the faint of heart to watch. It's pretty brutal, especially
Dude,
the way
it's
they
pretty gruesome.
when they get them.
Yeah.
It's just amazing though to watch, to see how like intelligent they plan out this kind of attack and the way they do it. It's
Dude,
just
and they're all like talking to each other underneath. And the crazy thing is like they hunt those, but also they hunt whales, which are way bigger than even
Yes.
they are. So like I saw this other one where I think it was a minke whale, which yeah, it's minke
minky
with an E.
with
I
a
thought-
Y.
No Y.
No Y.
No, just an E.
Minky. I
Yeah.
have heard of those. Yeah.
So it's this minke whale coming into like this pass, and they're all rolling in. And dude, these hunts take forever because these whales that they're chasing are also super fast. I mean, if you could imagine they weren't fast, they probably would have orcas would have wiped them all out a while ago.
Oh yeah.
So-
It's their. It's. I mean, you just kind of go back to that same scenario with the wolf and like
Yeah.
a deer or something. They're just trying to tire them out and just build the endurance.
Yeah, and the thing about it is when they're hunting in a pack, it's like you can have these main 2 ones that are running up against it, and the whole time they're like bashing them, just trying to tire them out, and it's like hours they're going. And then as those get tired, they have the other ones come in. So it's like the whole time, it's like they have their best players, you know?
That's
like,
insane.
come on, coach,
Yeah,
sub
send
them
me
in.
in.
Get our QB in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So eventually, and they're like bashing him, and that dude, it's gruesome. And then they start freaking biting him, and then
they have a big mouth too.
dude, and then eventually they freaking drown them.
Yes, they jump
Yeah.
on top of them and keep them from coming to the top.
Dude,
I've seen
all
that.
these
It's-
orcas just jumping on top of whales. What an insane sight.
It's they do it to baby whales too. It's sad, but it's It's. I mean, they have to make a living too.
That, dude, I'm so torn every time I watch like nature videos like that. Especially all those. There's so many of the lion videos, like the lion versus like the deer they have out there.
Like some kind of antelope or something.
Yeah, and it's like the baby antelope is bonding with his mother today, but oh no, with a twist. Yeah, dude. But then you see them bring the kill back to like their little babies.
Oh yeah, you're like, oh. It really is the circle of life.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
Thanks a lot, Lion King.
Lion King had it right after they stole that plot from the Japanese. We won't talk about that.
That's for another episode. So I kind of wanted to talk about the like prehistory, like before there were whales in the ocean.
Okay, this isn't something I did a deep dive into, but there is a pretty weird history. Like, I remember hearing that like they started in the sea initially, but then they came out of the sea and they're kind of like wetland dwellers and they would catch fish and stuff, and they had 4 legs, so they're walking around breathing air, and then they slowly made that transition like back into full-time aquatic creatures.
I saw that at a few places, but I kind of saw they were like science is kind of more going towards they came from a small common ancestor of the hippo, actually.
Oh, what the heck?
Like they were saying like 55 million years ago.
Okay.
There is like a small kind of like little, like, you know, like a house cat sized deer guy. His name
And it
was...
looked like a hippo?
No, it didn't look like a hippo.
Oh, okay.
It kind of looked like...
Because can you imagine how cute
a tiny
a
hippo...
cat-sized hippo would be?
They have pygmy hippos.
Oh my god.
They're little guys. They're pretty cute.
Wow.
I don't know how I got onto that. I got onto that somehow researching this, but... So, yeah, it's about the size of a house cat.
Okay. All right.
I forget what the name was. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the common ancestor.
Okay.
But they kind of broke off around 55 million years ago, and then right around 48 million years ago.
So wait. At that point, what happened? They started going. They're more like wetland hunters and like swimming around occasionally.
They're just small herbivores. They're not really doing much. They just kind of like they somehow divide.
Okay.
And I'm not sure where how they figured out a whale and a hippo ancestor was different. I didn't research the hippo one.
Okay.
So I should have. All right. So yeah, the 48 million years ago, it evolved into Ambulocetus.
Let me try that.
Ambulocetus.
Ambulocetus.
That sounds right.
Oh yeah, cetus, because that's like cetacean, you know, like whales and dolphins.
Yeah.
And then the ambulo, that's like ambulatory, like walking. So it's like a walking whale. Yeah. Look at us.
Look at you, dude. Just figuring out linguistics.
Okay.
But what was really cool about this guy
Yeah.
was it was kind of like that first step towards the water that science has found.
Okay, so what does his feet look like at this point?
So his feet,
Did they have claws?
They had hooves when they were on land. They kind of had, they're like the hippos kind of, it's like little like walking around. They step on, they're related to like hippos and like pigs and stuff like that. They kind of have that foot.
Okay, yeah.
So they came from that. Then it kind of became this like a crocodile almost, but like a mammalian crocodile.
Dude, that sounds terrifying.
Exactly, and it had teeth. From images I saw, it had teeth.
What size are they at that point?
They still weren't
like
super
crocodile
big.
size. Like, are we talking like 15 feet? Something
More
like that?
like a small caiman, you know.
I don't know how big a caiman is.
A caiman. Well, caimans can get pretty big. It's like 5.
Can we sidebar? Have you ever seen how big a saltwater crocodile can get?
Dude, they're freaking huge.
Dude, they're terrifying.
Like 20-something feet, I think. I want to say.
Look up the record. How big can a saltwater crocodile get? Because I saw this picture where they either caught it, which why would you catch that? Or it just washed up on the beach. But they had like all these dudes lined up behind it, and it was huge.
So this one says average males get 14 to 17 feet.
That's average. Look up the biggest.
Saltwater crocodile. Dude.
Yeah, because there's this picture and there's all these dudes lined up behind it. It's got to be over. Look at that. 20.24
feet.
20 feet long.
Oh my god! There's this little dude on top, like laying out, measuring, and he's like not even the whole back.
Dude, he's like barely
He's
the
a
middle
monster.
part. Can you? Oh my god! Can you imagine you're swimming, and you see that?
You're just like,
Dude,
just like, dude, it would eat
the
you.
insane thing about those is like if you look at the fossil record, is like they became that pretty early on, and then nature's like, you know what? This design is pretty dope.
This is pretty work. We don't.
This
really-
is working out. Like we're catching stuff, we're reproducing. Like things are going fine.
We don't really need to do much with this one.
Don't be fixing the part that ain't broke. That's what alligators say.
That's what. And crocs.
Anyways,
We should do an episode on alligators and crocodiles, though.
that's a good point.
They're super interesting. But yeah, so the cool thing about this guy was it's so they're thought to be carnivores because of their teeth. But they did have like long bodies, kind of short,
Wait.
stubby
So
legs.
it changed from being an herbivore to full carnivore eventually.
They think. I'm
Okay.
sure it probably switched
based off of the
omnivore.
teeth. Yeah.
Side note: hippos eat meat. Didn't know that.
What?
Learned that the other day.
Like they eat fish?
In like great times of starvation, they will eat meat or.
Like what are we talking here?
I saw a video of a hippo eating a zebra.
What?
It was horrifying.
Dude, have you ever seen that page? Nature is metal.
Is that the one you keep sending me?
I don't because I had to unfollow it because it was just so intense. I'd just be
I have
scrolling,
seen those pages.
through.
Those
I'm
are
like,
scary.
oh man, that's a dope car. Oh wow, that's pretty awesome. Oh god, there's an elephant with a horn through his head.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
God.
this. They have this one picture, and it's a literal elephant with a tusk through a lion. Yeah,
And he was just like dead lion shish kebabbed on
yeah,
him.
yeah. So the title is apt. Nature is metal.
Is metal. Oh, nature is. Well, the good news is whales aren't that metal. They're pretty chill.
Whales are pretty metal.
Well, some whales.
I'd say most. Dude, can I drop? All right.
Okay. Give me
There's
some
so many
knowledge.
things that whales are the best at. Or like, they're like, I see that record you have. I'm gonna break it. Dude, the biggest brain, that it goes to Moby Dick.
Sperm whale.
Yep. Which they're the most insane looking creatures in the world.
That,
Also, the
doesn't make
sperm
sense.
whale can make the loudest sound in the animal kingdom. I heard that it topped out at 236 decibels.
What does it do?
Dude, I don't know what it would do if you were close to it when it was doing that, but I was looking at this video and these guys are down there swimming with this group of sperm whales. And it would look so insane. When they first came up, and apparently they do this when they're swimming, it's like, you think of them, they're just like kind of swimming like this. No, they're all like vertical in the
I've
water.
seen pictures.
Dude, and it's like there's this diver in the middle, and they're all just like floating around him like this. It looked like some weird like shaman type
Dude, that's creepy.
religious thing going on. But what he was saying is like he was in the water and they were doing their clicking sonar sounds, and he said like it was so loud that it began to like heat up his body, and he started getting like really hot. Because it like vibrates your all the molecules in your body. You start getting hot.
What?
So that's pretty wild. Okay, and then you got
Wait, that's insane.
yeah,
You just described an alien, basically.
dude. They go down there and they'll spend a lot of their time in like super deep water, like talking like a mile down, and they got to be able to talk to each other super far apart.
Yeah.
And there's another one too where they have like their own language. So you have like this group of sperm whales off of the coast of like Jamaica, and then you have one 100 miles away. They can hear each other, but they have like distinct groups with each like their own language basically.
And so they don't really hang out. They don't like.
No,
go
they
and hang
don't.
out with the other
So when they come like close or close enough to hear each other, they're like talking and they can make the same sounds. They're like, "All right, that's my dude right there." Click, click.
McGee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then they hear another guy a couple hundred miles away come in. They're like, "Oh, that's click clack."
Oh,
We
stay
do
away
not want to hang out with him.
from click clack.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, it does this a lot. I'm just gonna keep recording, but. There we go.
And we're back again.
We're back again. Yeah. Sperm whales. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Smallest whale is also a sperm whale.
What?
Just looked this up right before we started. Pygmy sperm whale or dwarf sperm whale. You gotta look at a picture of these. They look...
Look at the cute little smile on that thing.
It almost looks like a dogfish.
That looks like an extinct creature to me.
That does. It does not look
That
real.
looks like something you'd see in a history book.
Why is there always...
And it looks like it has like this shape on it. It looks like it would have a gill on it.
It does look like it would have a gill on it. It looks like a fish.
Dude, that's really strange. It looks like a shark, but his tail is turned sideways.
It's a squish shark.
Dude, but look at how cute their smile is.
They are pretty cute. I have come to realize how cute whales are after researching this. They're really funny.
So, okay, well, to counter that, sperm whale is the largest toothed predator.
I was going to ask you a question.
Drop it on me.
Are they... So I know that most toothed whales
Yeah.
hunt in pods. Do sperm whales do that too?
Ooh, if I remember right, they were in like small groups.
Because I know they hunt...
I know they have like small familial groups.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for a lot of the whales, the way it works is that you have the mom, and then you have the other females, and then you have the young men. But then as they get older, they go off and they kind of run around solo, do their own thing until they're like, I need to find myself a pretty lady.
Then they settle down and...
Yeah, they settle down, but here's the thing. Then they leave.
Oh, so they're not mate for lifers.
No, they're not.
Which is not that common in the animal kingdom.
Yeah, it's kind of endearing when they are.
Yeah, that's pretty cute.
Like, oh,
That's kind of nice.
that's nice.
I wanted to go back to kind of how they evolved.
Okay.
So we know that...
Okay, so wait, are we like 48 million years ago at this point?
We're about 48 million years ago.
And, oh, that's right. And they're like crocodile size.
Furry crocodile. Just imagine that.
They have fur.
They thought they had fur.
Okay.
Because they're pretty sure that the ancestor before it started with the eye. It had the little like deer foot one. That
Insane.
one had fur. So they think it lost fur.
That's insane. I wonder if they still have like a couple like the little chin hairs. You know?
They actually do.
Yeah.
Modern whales have a lot of
did.
hair, actually.
What?
Not a lot, but they do have
But they
some.
do have hairs.
So, yeah. How are you pronouncing this one? Cetacea?
Cetacea.
Cetacea.
I'm pretty sure.
That sounds like a beautiful name.
Dude.
Like my girl Cetacea.
Zach, I'm sorry to say it. Your girl Cetacea is a stripper.
That's fair. So yeah, they were kind of, when they were researching like science, they were like digging up all these like bones. They're like, these kind of look like whales, but kind of not, because whales don't really look like, they don't really look or act like anything like bone wise.
Yeah.
Like with other mammals. So that's why they're so confusing.
Like how? What do you mean?
Their structures and the stuff they have are not seen in any other kind of
Oh,
mammals.
okay. So they're like going off on their own line.
Yeah, just the way that they are.
Yeah.
I mean, if you imagine, like, their most common ancestor going back was a hippo.
Yeah.
Hippos are pretty weird. They don't look anything like whales
So
either.
don't they have hip bones?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They do. They have vestigial structures.
Yeah.
Kind of like a lot of modern snakes have that too.
Yeah. That's a pretty... Dude. Wait, did you say snakes have hip bones?
Some big snakes, like boas and like
What?
big constrictors, they have like vestigial bones, or sometimes they will even have little like
They
claws.
have little claws?
Like one little claw or like a little nub that's still there from when they had back like legs, like
oh my god.
millions and millions of years ago.
So wait, are you
It's
telling me
insane.
so lizards came along, right?
I researched this a long time ago. That's another sidebar. They don't really know which came first.
What?
Yeah,
Wait,
well,
so if they have little nubs, that means they would have had to have. I guess it doesn't necessarily mean it, but it probably means they had legs before, right?
they definitely had legs. But
So
they're
wouldn't
not
that-
sure where a legged snake broke off in evolution and became a snake because they don't have enough evidence, I guess.
Oh my.
They just can't find those missing links
Yeah.
between lizard and snake because they do share a common ancestor, they know.
God, that's
or they
insane.
assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird. There's PBS
I
Eons
was
is
gonna say,
a great way to
that'd
watch,
be a
like,
bummer if like snakes show up on the scene
Mhm.
and like they start developing legs, you know?
yeah.
But then nature's just like, you know what? Actually, let's scratch
You know,
that.
well, you with the legs can keep growing and make
Yeah.
lizard, but you guys get rid of them again.
Yeah, and they're like, dude, I almost had this finished.
We just got legs.
Dude, it took me like 10 million years to make those. Come on.
We just got legs here, guys. But yeah, so after that Ambulocetus, they kind of just start turning into some creepy looking whales for a while, like big, kind of like if you've ever seen a leopard seal, they're no joke. They're pretty scary looking.
They're huge.
They got big teeth. It's like that, but with a bigger mouth.
Dude, have you seen that video where that guy is diving and taking video of the leopard seal, and like the leopard seal likes the diver, and he goes out, catches this bird, and he's like offering the birds up to this guy.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Dude, insane.
It's pretty crazy how smart animals are.
It is pretty insane.
I think about it all the time.
Okay, so you got whales are in the ocean now.
Whales are official. I forgot to say that crocodile-like one was very amphibious, but it wasn't really good at either. They think. They don't think it was very good at ocean.
Well, it had to be
life,
good enough.
It was good enough to live and evolve, but
Okay.
it for some reason it found a reason to get more in the water often, and it just there's a few more stages before.
Is
the
there
modern
theories
whale.
of that? Like, did they have like?
No, they have.
Did they have
bones.
like a drought on land, and then like everything died on land?
There's a lot of reason. Yeah,
we gotta get to the sea.
There's, sea holds a whole nother ecosystem of food that wasn't.
Yeah.
There wasn't really any mammals in the ocean.
Yeah, can you imagine if you're like the first one to get in there, and dude, it's just popping off, and there's just food everywhere.
There's fish everywhere. This is millions of years ago. These are warm tropical seas a lot of the time. So these early proto whales are just slurping up fish left and right, and just. But yeah, there's a few more. They basically just get more and more. It's like an anamorph. It's like going from a dog to a whale. It just kind of like gets more and more like that, and then.
Did you ever read those books?
I'd never read them. I just looked at them.
What are they about?
I think they're about like human transformers, but instead of turning into a car, they turn into like a snail or something.
Dude, that'd be pretty lame.
You're telling me you wouldn't want to turn into an animal?
Not a snail.
A snail's pretty cool, dude.
So wait, was it like a part-time thing? Like, well, I guess you didn't read it, but I imagine like, could you turn it on and off?
I don't know if he was like Ben 10 and he could just like hit a button and just like turn into an animal, or if he was just like or like a werewolf maybe. Yeah. Maybe it's more like spooky.
It's at night and you don't get to choose.
And he's like, and he turns into a snail.
Dude, I feel like you get really poor sleep if you turn into a wolf every night.
Just full moons.
Oh, okay.
So that's only about once a month.
Mess up your circadian rhythms a bit, but you could make it work.
You could probably sleep out the next day.
Yeah.
They usually
just don't
wake
plan
up.
anything the next day.
No, you're not. You're doing the werewolf walk of shame the next day. That's your plan.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So basically, they just like slurp up their back legs, whales, and they just become modern whales.
It must have been pretty weird when they were going around with like these big. What do you call it? Is it the pectoral fins? Mm-hmm. The ones that are out to the side. So you got these big pectoral fins, and then you have just like little nubs.
Little baby fins, kind of.
But
you see a lot of dinosaur bones like that. Like a lot of like seafaring dinosaurs or like creatures at that time.
Makes you wonder, like, if they were left to keep going, like, where would they have gone?
Well, I mean, animals are always evolving. Like Pokemon.
I'm pretty sure Pokemon is always just one thing.
Oh. No, they do it like 3 times, don't they?
What?
Pokemon, don't they evolve? Like,
oh, dude, you're right.
Like they do like Charmander, and then like super ultra one that's like big and scary.
Dude, I forgot about that. Dude, I completely forgot about that. You get like the little baby one, and there's like a couple generations, and then you have to bring that. Dude, you had to take them to like the incubation room, and then that would
Yeah.
like take them to the next level.
I don't remember if all of them do. I don't know. I wasn't like.
It'd be kind of weird if they didn't.
And I know they all evolve, but I don't know if they all evolve twice.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to like Pokemon fans let us know if anything.
Yes.
You want to talk about the anatomy of a whale? Like what makes up a whale? What is a whale?
Well, what is the difference between, which I don't know this, but what's the difference between a whale and a toothed whale and a dolphin?
I was gonna save that, but you can get into it.
Let's get into this.
I was so confused reading this, so I was like,
okay,
reading,
wait. And then and porpoises. Too.
Yes, and porpoises.
So you got 4 things.
You have
You got
whale.
you have your baleen whales. So there's 90 whales, right? There's 90 types supposedly. Could be more. At this point, maybe we've killed off a few.
That's very possible.
But there's 90. Okay.
Give or take.
I think it was 76 are toothed,
76 are toothed.
14 are baleen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's.
I read that too.
Okay. And then.
So you have baleen.
Okay, yeah.
You have baleen and toothed whales. Toothed whales is kind of like a blanket term for a lot of different types of whales and dolphins and porpoises. So
Wait, so they're all in there? Like, are you telling me a bottlenose dolphin is one of the toothed whales?
a bottlenose dolphin is considered a toothed whale. So I kind of made a little flowchart. So you have
Yeah.
baleen whales,
Yeah.
toothed whales.
Okay.
They are similarly related, right?
Yeah.
So toothed whales it's like kind of like goes down into like several different other categories. There's toothed whales like sperm whales. They are their own separate thing.
Okay, I'm tracking.
And then there's dolphins, which are also a toothed whale technically, but they are their own separate thing.
But what differentiates them? Is it just
I'll get into that.
okay? Yeah, keep
And
going,
then
keep
there's
going.
porpoises, like your like beluga whales, pilot whales,
Okay.
smaller kind of like fat round-headed whales. Yeah,
the melon-headed whales.
the melon-headed whales.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite terms researching this. So I'll talk about the toothed whales, baleen whales, the biggest differences between the two.
Okay. Go for
Echolocation, which we'll talk a little bit about later.
it. Okay.
A very interesting way of just communicating and stuff in general. But toothed whales use it to hunt, navigate poor visibility conditions. Because I mean, have you ever been in the ocean?
I have.
Half the time you can't really see a whole lot.
Yeah, that is very true.
Imagine
And we're up in like the lit section for them. A lot of them are hunting like way down where there's next to no light, or there's literally no light.
Yeah, or they do hunt at night times too.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I mean, it's insane.
If it was me, I'd just run into a rock.
Yeah,
Then I'm dead.
but I mean,
I drowned.
You can't like yell and then listen in your jaw, and then all of a sudden,
So like,
there's
oh
a
yeah,
rock.
beamed back. Oh, that's a rock right there.
Don't swim to that
Making a
rock.
turn.
Baleen whales also kind of do echolocation, but not for what you would think. So they don't use it for hunting or for locomoting, really. They kind of do, but
Do they use it for navigation?
a little bit.
Okay.
But mostly to kind of like they think it's to communicate, but they call them whale songs. I'm sure everyone's heard of whale songs.
Okay, yeah. Like the song of the humpback.
Like Finding Nemo, you have.
God.
I know this is annoying. Finding Nemo, you have like Dory trying to like
Yeah. Yeah, classic humpback singing.
typical song whale. Baleen whales travel in smaller pods, usually solitary. They are hunting for krill, so they don't really need to hunt. So they're not really needing of that, which is weird.
Wait, but wouldn't it still be helpful?
They do it sometimes, actually. I saw.
Only sometimes.
They do
that's
travel
weird.
either solitary or in small pods, so there'll
Yeah.
be like 4 maybe.
Yeah.
That's like a big.
How are
fun
they
group.
related though? Are they friends?
A lot of the time it is
Is
like
it the
a
thing with-
baby.
Is it like the mom and sisters and the baby? I think that's pretty common.
It's usually a lot of females stay together, kind of like
Yeah.
Elephants do that too. A lot of like matriarchal society.
Yeah. And then the dudes are over there just like, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'll see you when I'm when I need you.
When it's time. Toothed whales travel in big pods. Everyone's seen it. Dolphins, killer whales. We know. We just talked about. They go and travel in pods.
Do you think about like with that many? So I've been out in the water and you just see like hundreds of them. Like you're out in a boat and you can just see them to the horizon in every direction. I mean, think about how much energy they're using to jump out of the water and then also to heat their bodies because they're warm-blooded.
Oh yeah.
So they have to be able to pull that much energy like in fish nutrients out of the water every day. Like think about how many fish they're having to eat to
And
like
they're not
to keep
small.
that up.
They're not small.
No.
The smallest whale we just looked up is a dwarf sperm whale, and
Oh yeah, so how big is that?
it's. I mean, there's a picture right here next to a diver. It's. I mean, this is probably an average size diver. It's
So-
probably like 7-8 foot.
Yeah.
It's not very big.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the smallest one. I mean, you talked about gray whales earlier, or blue whales. How big did they get?
I think the biggest one it was like 110 feet. Yeah, you might have to double check that, but yeah, absolutely huge.
Monsters.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And they eat the smallest thing in the
the
sea,
smallest thing.
which is ironic and it's awesome.
It's weird. They kind of filled a niche where nature was kind of like, there's nothing really keeping these guys in check. We need
Yeah.
something. And whales were like, I'll do it
I'm on it.
with my weird teeth.
Yeah.
Toothed whales travels in pods. 100 whales so they usually, when you see big like groups of dolphins and stuff like that,
Yeah.
they are not all considered one pod. So sometimes
So it's like a super pod.
It's like a super pod. Like
Great
other
band name.
pods. Oh yeah, there you go.
Dude.
Super pod.
What up, everybody? We're Super Pod.
Hello, we're Super Pod, and this is our new song, Whale Song. So yeah, they like it's like groups of like homies. They're like, we'll all work together and just like there's a bunch of fish here, so we'll just hang
Yeah.
out together.
Yeah. There's enough to go around, man.
There is. They're just little hippies out there.
Yeah. Okay, so you got your toothed whales.
Mm-hmm.
You got your baleen whales.
Yes.
So, I mean, teeth, that's like the main thing.
Teeth and echolocation are big.
Okay, wait, so.
Ooh, baleen whales have 2 blowholes. Well,
What?
yeah. So kind of like a nose on the top of their head. They're right next to each other.
Is this still called nostrils?
They're considered blowholes.
That's insane. Okay, so they have 2 of them. And then what?
And
Dolphins have 1, right?
Yeah, toothed whales have 1. That's like a big identifier.
What the heck?
And also that kind of melon head. Even if you look at a dolphin, it does kind of have that melon head with a longer snout. They called it a rhombus, not a rhombus.
You know, it was weird. I looked at the minke whale,
Mm-hmm.
and it has its blowhole. It's like on one side. It's on the left side.
That was the
And-
whale.
And it's also shaped in like an S. It's super weird.
That's weird, and it has 2 then because it's a baleen whale. Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe they're in the same slit. They're in that same kind of S.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So bizarre looking.
I believe it was Menke whales too that I was looking at. They had they're the only. I can't remember if he's the only mammal or the only whale that is known to be colored asymmetrically.
Oh, is that the minke whales?
I think
Yeah,
so.
they have like the white on. I think it's their right side. I want to say.
Yeah, I want to say that too, like on their jaw.
On their jaw.
which
yeah.
is weird.
That is super strange.
Why would that be helpful? Is it easier?
I
You don't have to
know.
do twice of
I
everything.
don't know. I'm trying to think like if they were traveling like a certain direction the majority of the time, but then they'd have to go back. So it'd be.
It depends. Maybe they I know minke whales are definitely more like northern hemisphere, like cold water
Yeah,
kind of whales.
so if
aren't
they're
they?
traveling like in one direction, and if they're on one hemisphere, maybe that's lit up somehow, and that would. I don't know.
And maybe they
I'm
have
just
to do
spitballing
something
here.
with ice. They
Could
usually
be.
run ice. I know ancient people used to hunt the minkies.
Not that ancient.
No, you're not ancient.
I think. Let's see. I think whaling was banned in I want to say 86.
86.
Pretty recently.
By the IWC, International Whaling Commission.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Um,
insanely recently.
But it started a long time ago.
What's that? Whaling?
Like, yeah, like they think they like first recorded is 11th century, but they know that they hunted whales before then.
Dude.
and it was the Basques. It was like a little country in between Spain and France. They were like the first recorded to do like hunt whales with harpoons and all that gnarly stuff.
You know what's the shitty part about that is like I heard that some of the times they'd be hunting them and like they'd kill the whale and then it would just fall to the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, because they couldn't like bring it up.
Yeah, and then it would just sink. And it was like, wow, that was
a waste.
That was pointless.
Yeah.
Now all the what are they called? The little hagfish. They're like,
oh,
thanks,
thanks, bruh. And
Thanks,
those
mate.
like creepy isopods. They look like
Yeah.
giant roly polies. Just like
yeah.
the difference between dolphins and porpoises.
Oh, yeah.
This one was interesting.
Okay.
So dolphins have that like elongated beak, kind of snout.
Yeah.
Like, typical dolphin shape. Well, porpoises kind of have. If you've ever looked at like a beluga whale, it's kind of just like that fat head. Like
They got the melon thing.
They
and
got
then
the
their,
melon.
Their little snout is pretty short.
Yeah, it's like and they also have different teeth. So
How is it like?
Dolphins
what do
have
they look
kind of like a cone-shaped tooth.
Because they're more for like they're more like a dagger. They're meant for like stabbing, and then they just swallow it, right?
They just swallow the whole
Yeah.
fish. And then porpoises have a spade-shaped tooth. I didn't see
Oh,
why
yes.
a spade-shaped tooth was better.
All right. So sidebar, the spade-toothed whale, dude. This was one of the weirdest. Did you look at this one?
I didn't see that one.
Okay, this is one of the weirdest ones. All right. So if I got this right, 1872. There's a guy walking out on the New Zealand coast. He finds a piece of a jaw. He's like, okay, this kind of looks like, I think it's called the Gray's beaked whale, which is like a much more common whale. He's like, it looks like a Gray's. They go back and they're like, you know what? No, this is something new that we haven't seen before. It's like different. But they don't see another one until I think it was, I want to say sometime in the 1990s. Okay, so you're talking...
Wait, so you said 18... What?
18, I think it was 72, but let's say the 1870s.
Okay.
Okay. And then 1990s, they find a piece of a cranium, okay, so part of the skull, and then they test it, and it ends up being the same type of whale that jaw was. Okay, so you're talking like 140 years later.
Mystery whale.
Yeah, it's pretty mysterious. And then 2010, also in New Zealand, a mom and a calf show up on the beach. And one of them is dead, and then one died like soon after. And again, they thought it was like that type Gray's beaked whale, but then they go and do a genetic analysis, and they're like, no, this is what they called the, what did I say? The beaked whale.
Gray beaked whale?
No, that's the common one.
Oh. I forget. But it was spade-toothed whale, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking like over 150 years, and nobody's seen one alive. Like, isn't that insane?
That's when I was researching how many types of whales there were.
Yeah.
That's why they like every single source said like we're pretty sure it's this many, but like there's so many like mysterious ones that
They give
like,
a range. They're like, it's either 300,000 or 600,000. So you're like,
I mean, the ocean is huge, so I mean.
but I mean,
don't
there's
blame
people going in and out with boats every day. There's people in the water diving, and just to think like over that time period that nobody has seen one alive is so insane.
I feel like that was kind of like a renaissance of diving too. They like had a lot of. I mean, your first dive suits were just like heavy things you walked on the bottom of the ocean with, and then by the 90s, people had and they already had like breathing apparatuses and
So I would guess that it's probably one of these ones that stays far out at sea. It's not going to be near the coast, and it's also going to be one that's going to be a super deep diver,
a deep hunter,
and it probably stays down there for a while. But imagine, dude, hundreds of years, nobody's seen one alive. Like, that's insane.
I wonder if it looks similar to another whale.
The Gray's beaked whale looks similar. So I guess it's possible that there was a case of, misidentification, but still an insanely rare whale.
Wow.
So that one's probably the rarest. And I think the most populous on the other end is the minke whale.
Really? Minke whale's the most, even though they were hunted the most.
They were hunted less because they're smaller. I think they topped out, it was like a little over 30 feet. So, I mean, it wasn't as good as like getting a blue or a humpback or anything they had the the whale oil in their head,
Yeah,
which is pretty terrible.
it's disgusting. But they hunted them for a lot of reasons, actually. For like ivory for their bones, which I thought was only from elephants. I didn't realize that they used just all kinds of animal bones as ivory.
Yeah, what's the technical definition of ivory?
I didn't see that, but it said ivory was considered whale bones was also ivory.
You know what else is ivory? Narwhal tusks.
That's considered ivory.
Yeah, it
Well,
is.
they are a toothed whale.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Card
Card full. Do you have another card?
No.
Well, maybe we'll just do audio on this first one.
Okay.
Well, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So, blubber, meat. They also hunt for that. Oil. I don't know why.
Or they were making like clothes out of them. Oh, the oil was for like lights. Like they'd use like
Ambergris, they called it, I believe.
No, ambergris is like, I'm pretty sure it's their throw up. Like
It's like liver oil or something like that, or
but I think it comes like out of their mouth. Like it comes back up. And the thing is, like, they'll find it as it's pretty dense.
Mhm.
So you can find it either floating or people will find it on the shores, and apparently it's like super valuable.
just like a chunk of like whale throw up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whales, man, they're weird.
Dude, super weird.
Talking about whaling still,
I want to put that in my perfume.
they still do it.
What?
Recently, in a few past years, they did like New Zealand and Japan, a few other like Nordic countries were
whaling?
allowed to like do certain whales certain time of the year, like very restricted. They were allowed to keep like
Well,
continue whaling.
Japan just pulled out of the agreement. They're like, you know what? We want to hunt some whales.
We're gonna just eat them.
You know what? Let's keep catching these dolphins.
Reminds me of a horrible South Park episode.
Oh no, which one?
Do you remember that one?
No.
With they have they blame World War II, like the bombing of like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, I believe. They blame it
On dolphins?
dolphins and whales, and that's why all the Japanese people were killing all the dolphins.
That's so terrible.
And then they just like changed it so like it's a picture of like a chicken and a cow and like a bomber, and they're like, it was the chicken and cow.
Oh
It's
my god.
so horribly racist, but it's funny.
Dude, that makes me think of Team America. I mean, it's still one of the most hilarious movies ever.
Dude, that movie is like, it's just so vile. It's
Dude.
funny.
And then they make him like an actual cockroach.
Oh
the end.
yeah, he like slithers out. I like the like shark attack part. That one's funny.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's like they're in like Kim Jong. One of them.
Yeah, one of them Kims.
One of them terrorizer people. So they go out and he's like, I don't like this guy, this like reporter guy. So he like puts him down to shoot or whatever, and then it's just like little like leopard sharks. Are like he's like, and they're just like swimming around and like not even doing anything. One final difference between porpoises, dolphins.
Yeah, lay it on me.
That dorsal fin. If you've ever seen like
I
like
didn't
an
even
orca,
think of
which
that.
is actually an orca is considered a dolphin.
They're a giant dolphin.
Giant.
Probably the
dolphins.
biggest dolphin, huh?
They are the biggest dolphin. Also, the
These lines are
scariest
all very
dolphin.
blurry. It seems like.
I'm not really sure because if you look at an orca, it doesn't really have that kind of long beak, but it
No.
also doesn't look like a beluga or anything.
No.
So I mean, I can kind of see where they kind of say it kind of falls in that area. There must be other criteria, like
I think at a certain
genetically-
point, you just gotta like put them into like this group or that group.
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
then
this is how
science
it
figures
is.
it out later. But yeah, dolphin kind of have that like iconic curved shape where pilot whales have like a triangle, just kind of like a stick on their back.
Wait, what has the curved shape?
Dolphins do.
Oh yeah.
They kind of have that curved dorsal fin. Like killer whales have that too.
Yeah, dude, I saw videos and they were saying that the killer whale can have, dude, its dorsal fin gets as tall as 6 feet. That's huge.
6 feet tall?
That's how tall I am. That's huge.
I mean, I'm 6'2", but it's cool. Whatever.
I think, dude, I grew this year.
You grew?
I'm pretty sure I'm 6'3" now.
I need to start growing.
Dude,
What have you been
isn't
eating?
that crazy? Same
Kale.
thing. Same thing. I haven't changed my diet since I was like 12.
You want to talk about what makes up a whale? We kind of talked a little bit.
Like
about
as far
it.
as what?
Like, you see something in the ocean. Like, imagine
Oh, I see.
you've never seen a whale before. Describe a whale to somebody.
You.
Okay. They have the snout called a rostrum.
Wait, is
The rostrum
That's
is kind
the
of
snout? I thought-
that's like the mouth, the whole head mouth area.
okay. Okay.
The rostrum is covered in these little hairs called vibrissae.
What do they do?
So these little hairs are kind of for touch sense, and I kind of like they can kind of just like sense the water around them,
Yeah.
which is weird. They have like basically like a little peach fuzz all over their face.
Man.
They got 5 o'clock shadow all the time.
Yeah, but it helps them sense things.
Yeah,
Mine just looks ugly.
mine's just itchy. That's that's basically it.
I wish it was. Damn. Okay.
Then you have baleen whales. This is kind of specific to them. They have these baleen plates in their mouth, and hanging down them is this like long baleen. That's how they kind of filter the little critters out of the water.
Yeah.
It's made from keratin, kind of the same stuff. Your
Yeah.
toenails, hair, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Then you have their long body after their huge head. You have flippers,
Yeah.
just front
Yeah,
flippers.
for sure.
No fore flippers, which I thought was interesting.
Dude, for a while though, they must have had them.
They
you know?
had proto whales, those kind of like weird
Yeah.
evil seal looking things.
Yeah.
They definitely had.
So
rear
they
flippers
probably.
too.
I wonder when the flat tails showed up. You know.
That's what I was wondering too. In a lot of the pictures, it looked like they were just kind of like big sea otters with like tails,
yeah.
and then they
Yeah.
kind of developed this tail that has the big iconic two flukes they call it.
Yeah.
Those big flat pieces at the end.
Yeah.
It's
It's so weird that like you have, yeah, it's called like convergent, basically convergent evolution as far as like that particular characteristic, but how some like fish and sharks, they went one way and then the whales went the other way, but it still like works just as well. It's pretty interesting.
it's a big difference between them about how the tail is
How they
oriented.
locomote.
Yeah, because you don't see any type of fish that I can think of that has a tail like system that works like a whale does.
No, they diverted.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, you have that, and then the part of the tail that is not the flukes. You have the flat flukes on the bottom,
Right.
and then that kind of like end of the tail bit is called the peduncle. Peduncle.
Peduncle.
Peduncle. My favorite word of the researching for this one was peduncle.
That's a pretty solid word, yeah.
We talked about it earlier. Baleen whales have the two blowholes. Toothed whales only have the one. I wasn't sure why. What made the two whales like like nostrils basically on the top of their head?
Dude, I have no idea.
I
It's
don't
so
know what made
strange.
that more specific.
And then like, did they both start with two and then one became one? Did they converge, or did one start with one and then became two for some of them?
So from what
Or were they
I
different
was-
lines completely?
That's what I'm trying to figure out when I was doing it. So I was looking at the evolutionary tree of
Yeah.
whales and where they came from,
Yeah.
and it looks like when they became in the water, they were like mostly carnivores.
Yeah.
So I can't tell
I mean,
when baleen whales became a thing. I don't
Yeah.
know if they have a lot of evidence because
Well-
that keratin doesn't.
So there is a few that are like transitionary periods between the two.
Oh,
There's some
really?
that they found that they have, I think it was teeth in front and then they have baleen in the back.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Weird.
so they were like a transition between the two where they had both characteristics.
wow.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
one
that
of them
sounds
just
sounds terrifying.
that's kind of creepy. It sounds like like horse kind of have like just those little like teeth in the front.
Yeah.
Ugh. I don't like
I'll
that.
bet you that ancient toothed whales would have eaten people.
Definitely gave you a run for your money and
It's so
try to bite you.
It's so strange that they don't now. Why is that?
Well, we know killer whales do.
No, that's only in captivity.
Only in captivity.
Yeah,
They
so-
don't attack in the wild.
I mean, and even still, it's not many, which I guess it makes sense because there's not a lot of like contact between the people and the orcas like directly. You know?
They do. I mean, they do hang out a lot in Alaska, and a lot of people do a lot of like kayaking and stuff like that. They could very
What?
easily, they could very easily take over a kayak or a paddleboarder. But I'm wondering if
Yeah,
that happens.
But why don't they?
Maybe they know.
They're like, well, what do they know?
Well, like sharks aren't necessarily looking to bite us because we're not like very fatty like fish and seals and stuff are. I wonder if whales, I mean, since they are so
Maybe
smart,
they
maybe
know.
they can identify.
They know if they start eating people, they'll get a bad rep real quick, and people will turn on them
Not in this neighborhood.
real quick.
They'll go back to
You
whaling
know?
real quick.
It'll be just like Jaws, where they're gonna go out there and be like, "Let's kill all the sharks.
Murder all the whales.
That'll solve it."
Whale burgers on the cheap coming up.
Get your whale.
Get your
burger.
with your blubber sauce.
Oh, gross.
You want to talk a bit about echolocation? It was
Absolutely.
so weird.
What's weird about it?
The fact that they can just see without
here's
using
something.
eyes.
Do bats and whales have a common ancestor that was an echolocator?
No, that is.
So they individually came up with it.
That's the thing. That's convergent evolution. I believe you were talking about earlier.
That is insane.
They just developed something similar. Apparently, I saw from one source, and it was a little hinky. They said that
Inquirer?
it was a YouTube video, so you never know. But it said all animals in the sea somehow locomote or like navigate with sound. And I don't know if that's true.
All of them?
But I know all whales do.
I'm trying to think if there's like an animal that just can't hear. Is that a thing? Well, yeah, of
I'm
course.
sure there's
Like,
plenty of animals.
do sea anemones hear?
Probably not.
Do starfish
But
hear?
they don't move. Starfish move so slow. I don't think they're like worried about hitting something.
I don't think they have ears.
They're pretty like proto not
I think you
doing
should.
anything.
I think you should write a letter to your source with a list of all the critters
This
of the
is not
sea
true.
that
Not-
can't hear.
Do clams have ears? Yeah, so we kind of talked about how toothed whales use this echolocation specifically for navigating and hunting.
Yeah.
And baleen whales navigate and then they sing songs to each other, talk like,
That's so beautiful.
"Hey baby girl, oh yeah, what's your number?"
Yeah, what are they saying?
They don't really know. They know that
Yeah.
they are communicating. They're pretty sure
Yeah.
that they're communicating, but it's hard to decipher.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, how would you know?
I mean, they did. You were talking about earlier. They did realize that they were those specific dolphin or whales.
So
had specific,
those. That's an interesting question too, because there's some of them that like click and make like those. Those. Yeah, like that's what sperm whales do, and it's what dolphins do. Are there whales that both do the singing and the clicking?
not that I could find.
I don't think there is.
Because
Could be wrong.
those are characteristics of the different types of whales. So I don't know if there is one.
Is that a baleen / tooth division?
I don't know if they have those anymore.
What?
I wonder if that early whale you were talking about with the part teeth, part baleen.
Yeah.
I wonder if that
What sounds
one-
was he making?
Exactly. I mean, it's hard to know. There's no little like voice box left. They don't really
Yeah,
know.
that's
no
true.
melon.
I mean,
segue into that. What's a melon?
it's a mid-sized fruit.
Mm-hmm. Cantaloupe. That's good melon.
Yep,
You got
that's a classic. Watermelon.
Watermelon. So the melon is it was air filled, right? It's an air filled sac
think
in their
so,
forehead. Yeah. And they kind of use that to project. So I saw they have these little plates in like it's almost like a throat looking kind of system. So they kind of have these like they breathe air and these little like plates click on these like hard parts in their throat and they project that with the melon.
That is absolutely insane.
Did you watch that video I sent?
Which one?
It was so it's a beluga. It's like, look at this melon head, and it like pokes his head out of the water,
Yeah.
and he can like his forehead is so jiggly, he can just like wiggle his head a little bit, and it like jiggles and flops everywhere,
Oh
like
my
just like a
gosh.
floppy belly.
Is that like an abnormal one, or that's just how it is?
That's just how floppy that
Oh my gosh.
that melon is.
Yeah, it probably makes it like super sensitive to like vibrations in the water.
So that's how they actually they send it out through that melon, and they're picking it up through their lower jaw. There's a system that kind of senses the vibration in their lower jaw,
Yeah.
and then it deciphers that sound into like how far away it is or like what the hell it is.
Dude, so there's this one writer, and he talks about God, I wish I could remember his name. He primarily focuses on primates.
Mm-hmm.
But he had this book talking about animal behavior, and he came up with this word he calls it the Umwelt, and it's basically like trying to picture like what it is. I mean, you can't say in their shoes, but like what it's like to be them, and like all of these senses, it's like a completely different reality that they're working with. You know, it's like senses beyond like what we can even probably imagine.
Oh, how is he studying that? If you can't even imagine it.
It's just an idea he threw out there, and he's just a way to think about like their behavior and why are they doing what they're doing. Wow. For me, that's like the most interesting question. It's like within animal behavior, it's like, okay, what are they doing, and why are they doing it?
And like, I think it's crazy.
Who is your daddy?
Where did he come from? What are you talking about?
What is the other end of that line?
What is that from?
That's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Who's your daddy?
Who is your daddy? And who does he work for?
I don't know. What is that from?
Kindergarten Cop?
Kindergarten Cop? I haven't seen Kindergarten Cop in a long time.
Oh, damn it. Okay, anyways.
Yeah, so they... did you see how sensitive dolphins are?
How so?
With their echolocation?
What do you mean?
So, from 15 meters away.
Okay.
That's what?
It's like the size of this room. Just over there.
What's 3 times 15?
That would be 45.
45?
Yeah.
That's 45 feet away.
Okay.
From a dolphin's melon.
Yeah.
They can sense the difference between a kernel of corn and a BB.
What the heck?
They can tell the difference.
Dude.
That's how sensitive the echolocation is.
Dude,
that
if
they're
you're
like
a
sending
fish,
there and back.
You're out of luck,
You're
man.
done. Yeah, they can tell the shape, the size of things, how far away it is.
And that's pretty much, is that independent of vision?
Yeah, that's
basically just off that one sense.
From what
I guess
gathered,
that'd be hard to isolate.
No, from what I gathered, they mostly use the echolocation. They can see, and their vision is not.
Is it good?
It's okay.
Okay.
All
right.
Actually, I was going to talk about this later, but like,
what do you got?
One of the things they're breaching, so when they're breaching is like they're jumping out of the water.
It looks like they're just having a good time.
Is
there something beyond that? Because that's what it looks like.
That's what I kind of looked into. They don't really know. They're like, they have a lot of theories. I mean, so does everybody else. Yeah. But like,
I'd imagine, but it's guys and girls doing it. I was going to say, like, if it was just guys jumping and you're a lady whale and you're like, wow, that was an impressive jump.
That's what they thought. It that's might like, yo, ladies, or hey, fellas, check out this sick jump I could do.
I mean, I do that.
I do that all the time.
See that sick stare? Ollie right down that.
Nothing. I'm just going to bunny hop and slide my butt on this rail.
Gets the ladies every time.
They love it. But so like the characteristic of breaching, like they jump out of the water, rotate either onto their side or on their back, and then like slam, like flat body as hard as they can on the water.
Do you think that's a sound thing? Like, because I imagine that sound would travel pretty far.
Sound actually travels, I believe it's 4 times better in water than it does in air.
Yeah, so imagine how much. I mean, I imagine that's pretty loud if you have a humpback jumping pretty much full clear of the water and just slamming down
and then they
all that weight.
They do a characteristic slam of the flukes too when they're landing. So they kind of jump, whip their tail out.
They're trying to be loud.
They're trying to make a big wave and be loud. So they're clearly...
You could say they're trying to make a splash.
They do make a splash.
Big one.
If you've ever been to SeaWorld, and while they do the orcas, I mean...
Do they still do that?
They have the orca show. They don't. No people get in the water.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah. And they don't really do tricks anymore. They kind of show up. It's more informational about like
what do they do?
The whale. So like the like shamu in quotations will come up onto the like concrete thing they have. They slide up on there. It doesn't hurt them.
Yeah.
They show their tail. They kind of like prop up real quick. They kind of show them and they kind of like talk about the whales and like see how big they are. Yeah, they're like, what's up, girl?
Yeah. Dude, as cool as it is to watch those shows, just like after I saw Blackfish, it just kind of bums me out.
It's sad. It's sad to think it.
Oh.
There is a reason.
So his little dorsal fin is bent over because he's sad.
Oh, is that why? I heard it was because of nutrients they weren't getting.
I actually don't know, but I know that isn't seen in nature,
Never,
and
yeah.
a lot of them have it in captivity.
They know it's definitely something. in
I mean, it's a sad
captivity.
shape.
It is. It is a sad shape.
It looks sad.
If you haven't seen that before, look it up. It's just like the dorsal fin just flopped over, all curled. And
Yeah.
it looks like there's like a deformity. A lot of them, they think it's to warn off predators. Like, hey, see how big I am. See this big splash. Don't mess with me.
But at that size, what predators do they have?
Smaller whales do it too. Like
Okay.
pilot whales and stuff
Yeah.
that would have potential predators, other whales potentially. They
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
This one was kind of cute. They jump out of the water to
Okay.
make their pod aware or to just check out a ship and like
Wait. But okay, so I've seen videos of them just coming right up to boats and then they'll poke their eyes out. So why wouldn't they just do that?
they probably do both. They probably do this further away.
You know what I'd like to think? I'd like to think they're having a good time.
I'm sure they are. They know that they
You
can
know?
enjoy it, like they have like pleasure. I know.
That's beautiful.
I mean, like this is like my favorite dolphin fact. Like busting
What?
out, they do drugs for fun, which is funny.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that? So
What do you mean
dolphins will go to.
Oh,
they'll eat the sea.
The urchins.
They see this special urchin. They go down and eat it, and it's like a psychedelic, apparently.
Dude, there's a lot of creatures that do that. It's so wild. Like, apparently there's this type of reindeer, and it eats this particular type. It was either a mushroom or a fungus.
Mhm.
They trip out.
And they do it on purpose.
Yeah.
They know which
Yeah.
one. Dang. I mean, I guess nature's not all that boring when you're out there. You're tripping balls, having a great
Can
old
you
time.
imagine you're a reindeer tripping out?
I am a reindeer tripping.
What is
out.
the umwelt of a tripping reindeer? I bet it's crazy.
Oh my god. What was my other dolphin fact I wanted to get before we? They have sex for pleasure. One of
Okay, but how can you know that?
they hooked up brain transmitters and they
Mhm.
figured out that like they get like a rush of endorphins
Mhm.
and I think just from behavior
Yeah.
they will have sex maybe not in the mating season or they will
yeah.
so they somehow figured out that they are like receiving
Well, it
pleasure
makes
by
sense
doing
that
this.
most people or most critters wouldn't, because if they did, it's not like they're wearing protection. Like if they do that just for
They would
fun,
just do it all the time.
and then next thing you know, they have a bunch of babies, and then they can't support it because they're in the wrong season,
Mhm.
and then they're dead.
Well, bonobos do that too.
Oh yeah, they just do it all the time.
Yeah, but they
Like-
do it.
Like all the time.
They just basically their whole troop is just like a orgy. They have like
Yeah.
because they do a lot like they have lots of gays and like they just like all do all kinds of sex with whoever.
Yeah, dude, I was hearing that they'll say it like after a fight. Can you imagine?
Just fighting your bro and then just bang it out real quick. I guess just
Or dude, they're just greeting, or just all the time.
just a quick sex. Nothing.
Bonobos are wild.
But the bonobos are wild. Don't
But
hang out with
I still
bonobos.
don't understand. I don't understand how there's all these other critters, and you can just say for sure that
They have pleasure doing it.
Yeah,
They've traveled. I mean, they've tested on animals for basically as long as humans have been around. They've tested on like what intelligence animals have.
like how can you? Are you gonna tell me you captured snails and somehow found out if they're having a good time or not?
I think it's just the way their brain works. They're not really sure.
I mean, isn't it also possible that they have a different combination of like endorphins and chemicals in their brain, and it just looks different from what we expect?
That's what they
So-
think. But I mean, dolphins can recognize their own reflection too.
That's pretty neat.
That's a big step in the kind of like thinking idea. So I
they're
think they
just
can
like,
kind of like
this
if they
dolphin
do
can see
this.
itself. They're like, yeah,
He's having pleasure.
he enjoys having sex.
Oh,
It's clear.
apparently dolphins have sex with people too.
Oh yeah,
That's weird.
That is definitely weird.
That's a thing that happens though, and their penis is no joke. It's really big.
Okay, wait. So this probably goes to my favorite fact.
Oh, this is your favorite fact.
I mean, do you want to know how much heat the blue whale is packing?
Dude, lay it on me.
Dude. Oh, God. We're talking tops. Yeah, why don't you guess?
Which whale?
The blue. So the
Blue whale,
we're talking
okay.
the longest whale.
The longest whale. He's probably got the longest dong on Earth.
I think so, yeah.
Um,
Not proportion to body size, but
No.
overall.
yeah. 50 feet.
50? You think it's 50?
No, that's too big.
That would be like a person with a 3-footer.
They're out there.
Oh, God. 16. It tops out at 16.
That's very impressive stuff.
I'm pretty sure my car is like 15 feet.
Your Mazda Miata is probably
Yeah.
smaller than 16.
Yeah, it probably is. And it's an MX-5.
Oh, sorry.
So, yeah.
They got rid of the Miata.
It's not Miata anymore.
Oh, okay. No car stuff. This is just animal stuff.
Okay. Copy.
Breaching. I wanted to kind of clean that up real quick.
All right.
They think maybe to clean off barnacles and dead skin. Humpback whales can have around, they want to say around 1,000 pounds of barnacles on them
Oh my gosh.
when they're full grown adults. So that's like, they think it might be itchy just to kind of get off some of that stuff. And
Well, do you think about how much drag that would cause too?
that's what they were saying too.
I was reading this article about U.S. naval fleet and how they spend millions extra in gasoline just because of the extra drag that's being caused by the barnacles on the hull of the ship. And then the point
Wow.
from there was that they were studying shark skin because sharks don't have any barnacles that cling to them, so they're trying to see if they could like harness the power of shark skin and
Oh, I think I remember you telling me
Yeah.
that. That's insane. Harness the power of shark skin.
yeah, dude. If you could figure out like a roll-on shark skin, instant millionaire,
A flex seal of shark skin.
dude. Instant millionaire.
Shark skin plasti dip. I had one more thing.
All right, what do you got?
Breaching whales. We were talking about that. They found that slower whales breach more, not faster swimming whales.
What?
Couldn't figure out why. Couldn't find any reason why slower whales do it, but
That's really interesting. You got any theories?
I mean, they're not as fast, so they just want to have more fun jumping out of the water.
Maybe the fast ones are having good enough time just swimming along.
They're just hunting, doing their thing. I don't think killer whales do it as much. They're a pretty fast swimming whale, but like humpback whales.
Well, killer whales do.
No, they do, just not as much.
Oh yeah,
not as
yeah.
often.
Well, they do just like the regular arced jump, whereas humpbacks are just. I feel like they're like
They're
a little.
flinging themselves.
They're like a little kid just jumping into a pool, doing a cannonball, making the biggest splash they can. You know?
At a couple thousand pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, quite a few thousand pounds. Yeah.
Well, that's all I had on my notes. You got anything else?
No, man. I mean, there's so many like different avenues that you could look into with whales. Like their behavior is insane. Like their abilities.
They're incredibly smart.
I was
in the
looking
talents
at
they
a
have.
diagram. Yeah, I'm really stuck on the blue whale. I mean, it's just an insane creature. I was looking at a diagram and it showed a person next to a blue whale heart, and it was just bigger than a person in every dimension.
What?
Said it was as heavy as a horse. Okay,
Just
so-
the heart.
Yeah, just the heart. And like it said, the arteries were big enough that like a person could fit through them. Like picture that.
You're talking like 3-4 feet
Yeah,
wide, eh?
They're massive.
That is insane. They're huge.
And so my resting heartbeat is probably like 60 beats a minute.
Okay.
The average for blue whales is 5 to 6
Per minute?
per minute. And it's just pumping out just a mass of blood.
Oh, I'm sure it's got to be thousands of pounds of like per pressure,
Dude, it's
blood pressure per minute. And
all
just,
because it's got to go. So it's probably up towards the front. So you're talking, it's got to push blood like 60 feet away.
oh, easily.
Yeah.
And it's got to go past everything, all the blubber, all the like to the skin,
Yeah.
so they can have sense, and it's just
So 5 to 6 beats a minute. So that's every 10 or 12 seconds. And that's average. So it could be even like if we're talking on the slow end, it could be like 4 beats a minute.
4 beats a minute.
Like think of the gap between each beat.
So there's a while where their heart is just pumping, like just like getting ready to do the next pump.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the amount of energy they would have to use just on one pump is so crazy. I read that when they're doing their hunting, just to do one of their lunges, to like open their mouth, pump forward real quick, and then to capture all of the krill inside their mouth, they're using like over 2,000 calories. One lunge.
Then how many calories are they intaking with that lunge?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's got to be more, because or else they would just they would just burn most calories and die.
I mean,
Wow.
I saw that they were eating tops on a real good day. Like I said, 1.5 million calories. So 2,000 is not that bad.
2,000 is just chump change. You can
Dude,
throw
that's
that
how
around.
much I eat the entire day, and they just burn it off in like a couple seconds.
Yeah. That's, dude, whales.
Dude.
Whales are insane.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like, you can always go deeper into this topic. There's
In any direction, pretty much.
every facet of whales has been studied for
Yeah.
generations.
And the
so
insane part is, even with that, like, there's so much that isn't out.
there's
like-
so much new
Like that
stuff.
spade-toothed whale, like, nobody knows about it.
Or
What's it doing?
how smart they are.
Is there any left?
They,
Where do they go?
Where are they?
Where do they go? Are they down there hunting giant squid? Probably.
That's another one. We don't know. Do they know what sperm whales, what they eat mostly?
I think so.
It's mostly squid, I'm pretty sure.
I think they eat like bigger stuff like that, like squid and fish and the like.
Wow.
Because they're a tooth whale. They're a hunter.
They're not eating
Yeah.
plants by any means or filter feeding.
No.
They have big teeth.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen like just a tooth?
Yeah. You know what's weird is how they look. They look like imagine like a giant thumb. Like
They do.
They're round. They're rounded off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of them were. Some look kind of sharp, but other of them just look like a cylindrical tube. And the weird thing is, they have the super wide head.
Yes.
But their jaw is super tiny. And then when it closes in their upper jaw, they have slots for all of the teeth to go in.
So no upper teeth.
Oh, I actually don't know.
I feel like they would.
Yeah, you might want to double check
Yeah,
on
let's
that.
do that. I mean, since we're coming to a close,
Will the sperm whale have top teeth?
let's find out. Find out next time. Sperm whale has 18 to 26 teeth on each side of its lower jaw to fit into the sockets of the upper jaw.
Yeah.
So no top teeth, it looks like.
How strange.
What a weird creature. Whales are just so odd. Oh, there they are. Yeah, if you guys have time, look this up. Look at where there's slots
Oh
in their
my
teeth.
gosh, look at those teeth.
They're really scary, actually, if you look at it.
That looks like a scary movie.
Fossil sperm whale with huge teeth. Yeah, I mean, Google's just gonna take you down a path of nowhere. But yeah.
All right, man.
We're gonna come back in with a new episode soon about a different animal.
Or animals.
Animals, we don't know yet. We'll let you know.
Alright.
You got anything else, Brennan?
Over and out.
Over and out, rainbow trout.
Cheers.
Cheers.